Trigger warning. The following content may include sexual content, excessive or gratuitous violence content, Build-A-Bear Workshop content, death and or dying content, naked Mitch McConnell, and doom scrolling. If you are offended by the aforementioned content, please stop listening and go ahead and give a 5-star review anyway. If you are not offended, you are probably a terrible person and have discovered your people. Welcome, new listener.
You're now tuning in, so get ready for your mindless and sometimes mindful hosts, Josh, Jenn, and their very special guest for the morning. Sit back and enjoy the show.
Welcome to the Mindless Morning Show.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Mindless Morning Show. We have Jenn as always, and myself, but we also have an extremely special guest. We have Fidget. You can find her on TikTok as Hey It's Fidget, or she even has a Discord. And if you guys haven't noticed right now, she does have Tourette's, both of the two types of with vocal and motor, and we'll get more into that. But how are you doing today?
I'm good. Today has been deep cleaning day, so I'm kind of tired, but wow, I thought that would lessen the tics for the interview, but that didn't help at all. So now I'm just tired and ticky, but that's okay.
Well, hopefully, because does anxiety play at all a role in increased level of tics?
Yeah, for sure. I imagine
we're not making you
why.
Anxious.
Oh no, this is just something that I've never done before, so I imagine that. Wow, I'm a mom. Wow, I'm not. I don't have kids.
Don't do it. Stay kidless.
Yeah, kids ruin everything.
No, we're just kidding. We love you. Yeah, I think it's awesome, the awareness that you're bringing and normalizing it, I guess. Because I had told Josh, I have never, honestly, I don't think met anybody that had Tourette's at all. So it's all new to me, and I would assume most people don't want to bring attention to it, so they appreciate you doing so.
Yeah, it seems to be a mixed bag of reactions. Some people are like, oh, wow, thank you so much for bringing awareness to something that people usually don't talk about. And then the other people are like, oh, you're faking because you're not miserable because you have Tourette's. Why aren't you wallowing in it? Because apparently you're supposed to be sad if you have a disability. I don't understand that logic, but
some people are just so sad in their own life that they don't understand life in general. But I mean, it's absolutely amazing to keep a positive attitude. And I just want to quickly point out this wonderful little tattoo that you have of this little person, because I have something very, very similar here with a little person just with wings. So that's cool.
Weird. What is the little person from?
Well, actually, this was just a random design, but maybe it came from something. Do you know?
Mine is a Kodama, or a Japanese forest spirit from Princess Mononoke, which is one of my favorite movies. It's wow, it's the movie. Fuck you. It's the movie that I fuck you. That I fuck to. No. It's the movie that I put on during tic attacks to calm me down. So
Miyazaki films are phenomenal. Princess Mononoke is a great one because I love love that opening scene too. It's such a good one. So I gotta say it's really incredible, because I myself have never actually met anyone or spoken to anybody with Tourette's, and I came across I was just spending hours and hours on TikTok like crazy, and I came across your profile, and I just thought oh wow, this is really interesting, and it's not like I haven't seen them online either, but then I started thinking, I was like, you just seem to have that personality that would be really fun to have on and talk to about it. And I like that you were open to kind of build awareness around it and beat the stigma. So
thank you. Yeah. Most people seem to know of the disorder, but they have a very misconstrued view of it in their mind. And there's so much to this disorder. It's really interesting to study.
When did you start to know that you wanted to bring awareness to it? Was it always something that you kind of did play it into, or what?
No. So I've always been weird. I was the weird kid my entire life. But I never knew why. I have technically had tics since I was 7 years old, but they were never caught. They thought I just had really bad OCD, or that I was autistic or ADHD, or any number of those things. So all of my tics were overlooked until I turned 21. And that was, 22. That was last March. And they got insanely bad. Like within 2 weeks, I had gone from just a tic of like finger spelling ASL, which I didn't know was a tic. I thought it was just a nervous habit, to how I am now. Just complete glitching out all the time.
What is finger? Oh, you're just like actually like saying words but in sign language?
Yeah, I have a couple deaf friends, so sign language is super important to me. And wow, I never noticed I was doing it until one of my coworkers pointed out, like, why are you always finger spelling with your hands? I'm like, oh, I guess I am. So,
were you telling people to go fuck themselves and stuff?
Yeah, pretty much. The first. Wow, I would say the things that I wanted to say to retail customers in finger spelling, which I didn't know I was doing, but I got that point in there. So
that's amazing, actually.
And people with Tourette's, they face a lot of assumptions about what it's like to live with the condition, and most being negative things. So you kind of want to shed some light on that?
Yeah, for sure. So living with Tourette's is definitely not a desirable or easy thing to do, but it's not the end of the world. Like, you can develop tics or Tourette's at any point in your life. For any reason. Wowee. Especially stress, anxiety, trauma, and other mental disorders like ADHD or autism. Those come with tics as well. Wowee. Fuck off. And wow. Good God. Sorry.
No.
I lost my train of thought. Sorry. Okay. What was the question?
The negative assumptions made of those with Tourette's.
Okay, that is one negative, yes. But, it's really difficult to live with Tourette's, as things like eating or drinking or even talking to people become very, very difficult, because you have to focus so much on what your body's doing and what you don't want it to do, which is not really something that people have to pay attention to. So it's a whole new sort of focus that you have to learn. But once you learn that focus, wow, it's very easy to look at the positives of the situation, in the fact that it makes you super unique. You get to be a part of an amazing community, and it's typically not harmful in any way. It's mostly wow. It can be pretty entertaining as well. Like, a lot of the aspects of Tourette's are negative. I won't deny that, but it's very easy to make it a positive part of your life despite the negatives.
Right.
Yeah. I think it's awesome.
And so you say, like, with eating and things like that, has it ever come to a point where like it like you're choking or something because I noticed you do these like deep breath-ins?
Oh yeah. I have choked on my drink a couple of times, but nowhere near like super severely. When I'm in a tic attack, wow, I've had tic attacks at dinner a couple of times, and I have had like people feed me because I couldn't trust myself with a fork, because I would either stab myself or other people. Yeah, it gets pretty intense sometimes. Yeah. Wowee.
Yeah,
that's definitely. Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's just something I wouldn't have thought of. That's crazy.
Yeah, the negatives for me, at least, are definitely in the minority of times that I experience things.
I think that's probably what makes.
What a virgin! What a virgin! What a virgin!
Speaking of, actually. So I was like, wait, she says in her first TikTok. Is it your first TikTok, the virgin alert?
Yeah. Yeah, that's my very first one. That was my first like actual full sentence tic. So I decided to document that. But that was virgin alert. Wow, virgin alert, it's you. Yeah, that one.
Yes. So are you virgin?
Me? No. So I'm just calling everyone else out. But
oh yeah, you're like, fuck y'all.
Yeah, screw it. Screw everyone else.
Absolutely.
How old are you, by the way? Because you look, like you said when you were 22, and I'm like, you look young. I mean, I have a 12-year-old daughter. You look young.
Yeah, my lives have been banned several times for underage content. And like the live stream, wow, barrier is free to be 14. So apparently I look younger than 14, but I'm 23. I just have baby face really bad.
Okay.
That's a good thing. It's a good thing.
No, yeah, for sure. It's just, wow, no one believes me when I say I'm 23.
You're like, TikTok, listen, I told the truth. Okay.
Do you have?
I can't do anything about this. Like,
Right.
Do you happen to have like any inspirations of others with Tourette's that you look up to?
Yeah, for sure. The first person I started watching when when I first started developing tics was the streamer Sweet Anita. She is one of my favorite streamers, and wow, you'll find a lot of my tics are from her, because the worst type of tic that I have is echolalia, or repeating other people's words. So, woohoo! My brilliant genius mind was like, hey, let's watch someone with Tourette's while you're developing tics. So that sort of came with my starter pack of tics. Wow, is a lot of hers. But I like Sweet Anita. This trippy hippie on TikTok is also super inspirational, because I had never met or seen anyone who had suffered with FND before I found her channel. I'm like, holy shit! Like that's everything that I have to go through. That's crazy. And it's just, she has definitely helped with beans. She's helped my beans. Hey, wow, she waters them. No, she's helped with me finding a positive outlook on all of these like conditions I have to go through, because obviously none of them are fun. But
and where did beans come from? Because you call everyone your cool beans and stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I have no fucking idea. I know a lot of creators had the beans tick before I got it, and I was watching a lot of creators. I do that anyway, just to get a sense of normalcy, because like, hey, these people are like me. They're not. They understand what I'm going through, and I picked it up from either Witch with Tics or this trippy hippie. I'm not sure which one, but one of those gave it to me, and it's not going away.
Oh no.
I like cool beans. We've said that for a while.
Yeah, that's definitely been a good old fashioned term. But and for those who don't know what FND is, it's functional neurological disorder. Mm-hmm. And I guess that's like the more appropriate terminology for Tourette's. Is that it?
No, FND and Tourette's are completely different disorders. Wow. They are common comorbids of each other, though, which basically means that, like, autism has a very common comorbid diagnosis of OCD and ADHD, so things that are commonly diagnosed together. Under the FND umbrella has pretty much every mental illness comorbid that you could see. Wow. And Tourette's is one of them. But they're different disorders. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I don't think I explained that right.
That's okay.
It makes sense to me. He's mindless, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah. So with the glove, that's to protect you from like harming yourself? Or
yeah, these are mechanic gloves, so they have like super hard padding on the bony parts of my hand, because I typically hit my sternum with that, and it makes me lose my breath a lot. So it's just super squishy, so I don't hurt myself.
That's smart.
What is the feeling that you go through, or the body feeling that happens when like things are about to tick? Like, how does that all come into play for you?
So this doesn't happen for everyone with Tourette's, but beans, wow. Sometimes people get this thing called a premonitory urge, which is a weird warning feeling that you get in your muscles or wherever you're about to tick. Wow, that sort of warn you what body part is about to move, or if you're about to have a vocal tick. For me specifically, it's different for everyone, but for me specifically, vocal tics feel like a cough that's building up in my chest, but a lot more like electric feeling. So I can tell it's not a cough, it's a tick. I don't know what I'm going to say before I tick, but I know it's coming. For motor tics, it feels like there's sort of like a taser at my neck, and the electricity goes from my neck to whatever muscle does the tick. So if I'm flipping you off, it goes all the way down my arm. And I can tell where it's going, but again, I don't know what my hand is going to do. Whew.
That's really interesting.
Okay, so you having just started having to deal with this, like how, because I feel like you feel like natural, like you've had it for a long time, not natural, but you know what I mean? Like you're dealing with it in a really, really good way for having only had it, 2 years, a year, 2 years?
Yeah, it's just beans. Sorry, it just passed a year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So when I was little, like 13-ish, I started researching a lot of disorders because I knew something was wrong with me. I just didn't know what. I had pretty much all of the comorbids of Tourette syndrome, like ADHD, autism, OCD, rage attacks, pew, pew, pew. And then the weird movements that I would do that, again, I just thought were nervous habits or stems from autism. But I researched Tourette's a lot because I related to pretty much every part of the diagnosis except for tics. So I was already prepared for this to happen. I just didn't know that this would happen. So I guess I kind of screwed myself there. But
what about your parents? Like, were they constantly like thinking something was wrong, or were they more of like because my parents were always like, "You're fine, everything's okay, just put a fucking Band-Aid on it and move on," kind of thing.
Yeah, pretty much. I was in therapy from like first grade on, so they knew something was wrong, but they really didn't care enough to push for a diagnosis.
Okay.
So they weren't super helpful in getting the information that I needed.
Right. What about school?
School was really hard, especially since, fuck me. Especially since I was dealing with a lot of OCD symptoms and ADHD symptoms. Like school wasn't functional for me. So eventually I was transferred to a learning disability high school. Fuck off. Where I stayed. And
but they didn't they didn't try to like help diagnose and stuff like that?
No, I went to so many doctors and so many therapists and a literal learning, like a school designated for kids with learning disabilities and other disabilities. Whether it be mental health or neurological. And I have no idea how everyone in my life missed that I had Tourette's, but I guess there's no mistaking that now.
Yeah.
I think that's something that, and I mean, potentially we could like change, we get it out there enough, because that's a big misstep, I feel like, especially like you said with the school that like specializes in it.
Yeah, I think a lot of the reason is that there's a huge stigma behind a Tourette's diagnosis. A lot of doctors, even now that I go to, don't want to believe that I have Tourette's, and they're like, "Oh no, you just have like anxiety tics. You don't have an FND. It's just stress." And I'm like, "Okay, but it's not though." Like, why are you trying to take away this diagnosis that I clearly have and that I've fought for 22 years?
Yeah.
But yeah, the stigma behind Tourette's is definitely a huge roadblock for anyone trying to get diagnosed, and anyone who, would benefit from a diagnosis, especially people who like deny that they have tics or deny that they're experiencing what they're experiencing. And I think that with more education, the stigma can be erased.
Right.
And that was
Absolutely.
Especially since Tourette's Awareness Month started 2 days ago.
Nice.
This is like the perfect time for a stream. So thank you for scheduling
I
it.
didn't know that.
Yeah,
Oh,
happy
we're
Tourette's
gonna make
Awareness
it,
Month.
like,
I mean, I did know that.
You definitely knew. Yeah, for sure.
this means we're gonna make this video that much better, right, Josh?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we're gonna
Yeah.
we're gonna do it. Mine
yeah.
was fundraising.
Fuck yeah.
Are
Simp
there
coins.
ooh simp coins?
Yeah, that.
That would be a good
The new currency.
new cryptocurrency.
Dogecoin.
Seriously, come on, Elon.
Are there any activities that you do or that you have found to do that help you kind of mitigate your tics or minimize them?
Yeah, singing helps a lot. Like on my live streams, I always try to fundraise for something. And whenever we hit 500, I sing a song because like I don't like to sing. So it's sort of exposure therapy for me. And also I get to celebrate the fact that we raised $500 for whatever charity that we're doing, as well as I can show people that if people with tics and Tourette's focus, they don't tic. So things like instruments or animal care, reading, art, things like that. All of those calm tics down tremendously.
Have you ever tried gaming?
Yes. I play video games all the time, especially during tic attacks. So,
Do you play Fortnite? Because I recently got into it and I'm pretty badass. Like I carry the team now. So if you want to play.
My strategy in Fortnite is to hide until there's one person left and then kill myself so I don't have to deal with the stress of trying to kill the other person.
Oh, shit.
I'm happy with second place.
Wow, it's like self-deprecating as fuck.
No, I get stressed out way too easily, so I can't do shooters.
I'm horrible at it, but they're good at it, so they carry me.
I feel that.
They could carry you too, We'll just talk.
Yeah. I mean, I got to go see the chiropractor a little bit more than you do, but that's okay. So do you have to, or do you feel like you have had to preempt people to the idea that, hey, you have Tourette's to kind of avoid having any type of conflicts?
Like in general public?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Like if I ever go out to a restaurant, I always tell the waiter, like, hey, I have Tourette's. Can you please put me in a corner where there's no one else so I don't like accidentally throw food at someone or offend someone? Because I once sat behind a very, very conservative couple who was talking about how they loved 45, the 45th president. And my tics just kept yelling, Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter. I'm like, I'm literally going to get shot here. Like, an open carry state. So I need to move. But
oh, yeah, you're in Texas with me, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I'm in the DFW area.
Me too.
Really? We're neighbors.
So people are a lot more accepting than like further south or further east. But wow, still not a fun game to play.
Right.
And
wait, so, oh my God, this is like our local schools that are being assholes. So we should actually really do something. Seriously.
For sure.
So I'm just like picturing Jen, like I already know how she can be. So she's going to be inside of every class.
Yeah, I'm like going up, knocking on the doors of every school. And I'm like, listen, bitches. And Fidget is with me, and she's just telling them off, like, but
hell yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
Now you guys are gonna have to become best friends. She does.
I'm also like thinking like, oh my God, are you my neighbor?
She probably wants to touch your hair, and I don't say that.
I do want to touch your hair. I'm a hairdresser, by the way. So,
wait, what?
I said I do want to touch your hair because I'm a hairdresser. I was just waiting for it, but yeah,
my hair is definitely poodle-like, but you know what? I like it, so.
It's amazing. Mine's normally curly, but I kind of have fried it, so I have to like make it do things because
it's a beautiful color, though.
Thank you.
I'm a hairdresser. I fried my hair. It's great.
Well,
great for business.
I cut it myself. It's fine.
So I was watching your live stream prior to you coming on here, and
shit. Oh no. Okay.
No, it was great. I was just like taking in. It was actually perfect because I was able to get like that little bit of glimpse before. Because I mean, we've only but talked through texting, and I know that's not so much your forte. You say you're not as eloquent.
Yes, I'm definitely much more prepared in. Proving myself wrong right now, but typically I'm much more prepared to speak rather than text.
Right.
Do you find it like that's something that's hard to do overall, is typing, texting to any degree?
No, not really. I know a lot of my friends in my like Tourette support groups have typing tics, which are really interesting. I do have a channel on my Discord for like people to spam chat in case they do have typing tics, because sometimes people just need to keyboard smash and send it somewhere. Luckily, I do not have that, and my tics tend to calm down when I'm typing. But the worst thing that happens is like I toss my phone or like I shut my computer in the middle of things. So wow, that's why I typically have my phone away from me on a tripod.
Oh, okay. Well, what would you consider your worst tic?
Mm-hmm. My worst tics are definitely like the hitting tics. They have absolutely calmed down since a couple months ago. Wow. When I first developed tics, I had a tic attack about every week, and most of that would consist of me like hitting my head or hitting my chest and me like getting out of breath, or I would wake up with bruises and scratches everywhere. Wow. And I've had to go to the ER a couple times because of it, just to like get some Ativan to calm me the hell down because nothing else worked. Wow. And those tic attacks could last like over an hour, so it's not the greatest, but definitely any self-harming tics like hitting or scratching are not great. Wow. I've kind of gotten those under control though, so I'm hoping that they go away soon.
Is there medication that you got, like, so you said Ativan, right?
Yes.
Is that, are there other ones that are more helpful too? Like,
so there are a couple tic meds that you can take. A lot of them are high blood pressure meds. So the common side effect is low blood pressure. I have chronic low blood pressure, so I can't take a lot of the tic meds that are prescribed. But the meds I do take are anti-anxiety medications like Klonopin. Wow. And then Ativan if I have to like go to the ER when they're really bad. So the medications are limited and they don't completely stop the tics, and the side effects really, really suck. So there's not a ton that you can do about it, unfortunately. I'm hoping that with more research though.
Yeah. Does it cause you like physical pain to any degree trying to suppress them?
I wouldn't call it pain, more uncomfortable. It's like when you're trying to hold in a cough when you're sick, how it gets like super, super itchy and scratchy, and like you're trying not to cough and you can feel it building up in your chest, and then eventually you have to cough. If you hold it back, you're going to cough for like 5 straight minutes, and when it would have been better to just let that one cough out and be done with it. Wow. So I don't promote or advise suppression in any situation if you can prevent it, just because it is really, really harmful and can cause a buildup that could lead to a tic attack. Wow, which might send you to the ER. So it's
okay.
So I'm guessing you never really played hide and seek.
not since I've gotten tics, no. I was really bad at it before, so I can't imagine how bad I'd be at it now. I would like to see that though.
I mean, if you do it with other friends that have Tourette's, then it'll just confuse everybody, and it will be like hide and seek.
You have to guess who you're finding before you
True.
bail them. There you go.
That
There's a
be
new
cool.
style.
Honestly, like hanging out with friends with Tourette's is super difficult. A funny story that actually happened to me this Saturday was I went to the Scarborough Fair in Waxahachie, and fuck you. Wow. There was this girl at the sausage on a stick stand because the turkey leg line was like a mile long. So I'm like, fuck that. I'm not getting a turkey leg. I went over to the sausage on a stick stand, and the line moved up, and I went up and got to be first in line. And this girl started saying, hi. And then I immediately noted that like, oh shit, she's taking at me. And so my tics started responding, hi, hello. And we just started looping off of each other. And like the entire line behind me backed up because we were just screaming hello at each other. And they're like, what the fuck is going on? And so eventually I had to just walk away because like I was preventing her from doing her job, and like my friends just ordered me a sausage, and she was still ticking when we left, so I felt so bad that I set her off, but we scared the shit out of each other.
That's actually pretty interesting though, because
That is.
and I don't understand why people. I mean, you guys are just saying hello. It's nothing like mean. So.
Well, yeah, but like she's saying, like she had to physically stop it because like y'all would have probably not stopped.
Exactly. Yeah. Like once you get in a tick loop, it's very, very, very difficult to stop. Like you have to move away from the situation to stop, which is why things like Tourette's camp is really, really difficult to navigate. I'm actually training to be a counselor next summer if COVID's safe. So hopefully I'm able to do that. And I can't wait to see how that goes, honestly, because I feel like it'll be in the same vein, but
That sounds exciting, but like, I mean, you know of the fact that it can loop off of each other. So, I mean, there's got to be ways that they implement to avoid that.
Yeah, I think a lot of it is like spacing people out and allowing them time to walk away if they need to and come back when they're done. Because once you get out of a tick loop, it seems that your ticks are much more active for several minutes afterwards. So as long as you get like a break to go away and then come back, once you come back, they're typically a lot calmer for several minutes, so you can get a little bit of a break.
Interesting.
Fuck off. You're a virgin.
With the looping, will it work with like? Do you guys loop off motor ticks or just purely vocal?
Both. Wow. I have a video on my TikTok actually of my friend with Tourette's and I going skating for the first time, and like we had both started skating and it completely encapsulated our focus because we were both so terrified of falling. And eventually like I slipped and lost my focus, but I stayed upright. And so my ticks just immediately started like scrunching down for some reason, and then hers copied me, and then mine copied her, and then we just had to eventually get out of the rink because we couldn't stop ticking on the skating rink, and we were like, we're gonna bump into someone. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, it was drive-by ticking. It was great.
I haven't been to a skating ring in years, man. I miss them.
I only know of one. Did you go to Firebird? Or in Garland?
I don't know. I went to the one where that. Fuck, I don't know what it's called.
Or no, not Garland. Plano is the only one I know of.
I'm pretty sure it was like close to Garland though.
Okay.
So, do you find it hard to like go to sleep?
Not. Wow. So when my tics first started, I had a lot of wow. Oh, see, there it is. Like my legs would jerk, and then that would bring my head down, and that would happen no matter whether I was standing up, sitting down, laying down. So that was really, really difficult to deal with, and did prevent me from falling asleep a lot. And it would happen in my sleep. Wow. Ooh. Gross. So I went to my neurologist, and she prescribed me a sleep medication that just knocks me the hell out before I can even think about ticking. So that has been really helpful. So lately, no.
That's crazy.
You literally don't tick in your sleep, or you just don't know that you're ticking?
I don't think I tick in my sleep. I just move a lot because I have really bad nightmares, but that's totally different.
Do you think the nightmares stem from Tourette's, or is that just you've always had?
I've always had that. That's just my brain being stupid. But wow, we. Damn it! I was gonna say something. No, I don't remember.
Bad dreams.
Hello.
Brain being stupid. Bad dreams. Brain being stupid.
Yeah, I don't know. It'll come back
Your
later.
brain's not stupid. It's beautiful.
No, she said it, not me. Okay, I would never say that.
Well, both of you.
How dare you? I come on here to interview, and you call me.
I know, and I'm sitting.
Now you're never gonna know when she's actually saying "fuck you."
That's true. It's like this one I actually meant, bitch. Yeah, like how does that go if you're really actually mad at somebody?
Oh yeah,
you're like, no, that was
taken
real.
Seriously because of that.
Okay, so when I'm really upset, like when I'm really mad or sad or stressed out, not stressed out. When I'm really mad or sad, my tics tend to give me a break, and I don't really tick that often. So if I'm in a fight with someone, they know that everything I'm saying is very genuine. So if I'm saying fuck you, they know it's not a tick, because even if I do tick while I'm in an argument, it's typically stuff like that where you know it's not part of the conversation. It's just completely random. Hey. So
interesting. You think that's because it takes so much focus because you're like that angry?
Exactly, yes. And I'm planning the entire conversation in my head of like, oh, I've got you on this many points. Fuck you. Like,
yeah.
I can definitely tell the difference between that fuck you and the other fuck you. So
exactly. Yeah.
I felt that.
My friends can tell.
I felt that.
So do you think that anxiety plays a big part in Tourette's, or is it a separate beast that you conquer?
A little bit of both. It is definitely a separate like monster all on its own, but it definitely does feed into Tourette's a lot. If you're stressed or anxious, your tics will most likely get like 10 times worse, which is why the most helpful treatment plan for Tourette's is to accept the disorder, not stress out about it, and just move on with your day. I know that's easier said than done, but that's what gives the least amount of anxiety is just accepting the disorder, which is also why I'm on a lot of anti-anxiety meds, because like if I get too anxious, I'm going to have a tic attack. So
it's crazy though to me that because what I was reading is like it kind of dwindles down in age, and like you've only gotten it so recently, so like you have to kind of weed it out, I guess.
Yeah, I'm part of the lucky 10% that has adult onset Tourette's. I count it as adult onset Tourette's, and I say that I've only developed tics recently, even though I've technically had them since I was 7, just because they weren't bad enough to affect my life. And I feel like it's not fair to the kids that have had to go through school with really bad motor and vocal tics. Like that's, wow. I'm dealing with that now as an adult, where I'm able to get myself out of situations that make me uncomfortable. And wow. So yeah, about 10% of people who have Tourette's will develop it later in life. Fuck off. But I believe the percentage is 1 out of 125 people will have Tourette's, and then 1 out of 100 will have a tic disorder. And then 1 out of 10 of those people are going to have some sort of coprolalia or like inappropriate tics. So I know those tend to take the forefront of most of the Tourette's media, but it's such a rare, it's such a small part of the community.
Yeah, so that was a statistic I had read today, which I will admit I was part of that ignorant group that just assumed any and all with Tourette's just cussed. And I always found that pretty fascinating. But yeah, it was actually a very small percentage of people with Tourette's, is like I think 5 to 15% overall, which that's not a lot at all.
No, and that seems to be the most common misconception with Tourette's, is that it's the swearing disease. It's not at all. It's just the I don't have control disease, really.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say that. I mean, so how would you prefer? Would you prefer to? Do you like? Well, I mean,
do you like?
not that you like having Tourette's, but like you've come to quips with it. So like, are you okay and content with the fact that you cuss, or would you prefer it not to be that way?
I have accepted the fact that I will be inappropriate in situations that don't call for that, and I have accepted the fact that I'll probably embarrass myself every day for the rest of my life. But I would much rather not have it. Like, I think there's a difference in accepting it and wanting it, I guess. I like if there was a cure for Tourette's, I would absolutely take it in a second.
Yeah.
So,
I think what
go ahead.
I was gonna say, well, like for having the inappropriate, like outbursts or whatever, like I think you do really well with it, like it doesn't feel, I don't know, like I wouldn't be like in public taking offense, if that makes sense. Like,
and that means a lot to me. I've only gotten the cops called on me twice, which is nice.
What? Little badass over here.
Where?
At Walmart, of course.
Wow.
Or no, sorry, not Walmart, Target. Which is where all the uppity rich people shop.
It's
Target, yes. So a lot of the people. Okay, most strangers that I meet are very accepting of the fact that I have Tourette's, even if I say fuck you, and they'll be like, sorry, I have Tourette's, and like, oh, you're good, and then they just move on with their day. But there's a very small few that, like to make a scene about it and like be like, oh no, you don't, you're lying, like Tourette's isn't a thing, like what the fuck are you talking about? So those typically escalate, even though I try to get out of the situations.
Dude,
but
people are crazy.
I know. I'm like, who the fuck are you gonna tell somebody else what they have? How does that even happen? Like,
and like
Is there no like official medical tag or something that like could say, hey, like, look, I mean,
Dude, maybe we make stickers. Do they make stickers and stuff like merch that like says like, fuck you, I have Tourette's?
Yes,
No,
that
get
is actually
offended?
one of the exact quotes on the merch. Yes, but wowee. I do have a bunch of pins that I can like switch out depending on what outfit I'm wearing, so that way they match.
Nice.
But basically, they all just say, "I have Tourette's, please understanding," and they're big and they're in big primary colors with big bold print. Because I tried to wear like a tiny like medical card that said, "Hey, I have Tourette's. Here's all of the symptoms that I can have. Here's all the resources." But the text on that was apparently too small because no one fucking read it. So I decided to get a big old button that no one reads still. So
man, I mean, and it's not to say that you should have to do that. I mean, people should be understanding and accepting of it. And I mean, quite honestly, like, I think it's great. I that was like one of the best introductions to meeting somebody I've ever had, because prior to us recording, you literally came in and said, "Fuck you, I'm a virgin," and I loved it.
I loved it.
I thought it was.
I was like, why don't you record things? Like on my other show, I hit record as soon as we like start even like having people enter the Zoom so that we can catch like any funny moment that happens. But Josh doesn't want to edit. So
that's
yeah, I've never had those two in like a combination before, so I would feel honored.
Wow, you're special.
You got both at once.
So do you have a boyfriend? Girlfriend?
I have a girlfriend.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was she with you before it started getting bad?
Yes. So wow, we met at an anime convention about 5-ish months before I got tics. Wow. And we immediately hit it off. She was rooming with some creepy guy, and so I was like, "Hey, why don't you stay in my room and we'll just watch like Disney movies and stuff, and it'll be fine, because I don't want you staying with him. He's really weird." And yeah, ever since then we've just been like best friends and hanging out, and it's been really great. Because the tics were so sudden onset, she was a little bit off-put at first because she didn't really know what was going on, but wow, she did her own research as soon as I explained like my diagnosis or like what I thought my diagnosis would be, because the diagnostic process is very long to get diagnosed with Tourette's or a tic disorder. Fuck you. And she surprised me and did her own research on Tourette's and FND, which was amazing. And ever since then, she has been my own personal bodyguard. So like at shops and stuff, I don't have to explain myself a million times. Wow, I don't have to apologize every time. Like if anyone gives me a dirty look, she's like, "Hey, fuck you. Like, come on, come at."
I love it.
She's great.
That's
awesome.
amazing.
And I mean, to anybody listening, I mean, and more importantly, watching, if you see this face, I mean, how can you be mean to her? This is ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't even know. Like, you
look so sweet and harmless. Like, just because, like, I don't know.
I'll steal
like,
your wife.
and then I bust out with.
Oh, you could.
I promise. Sorry. I'll do it again.
Where did the virgin thing come from?
I have no idea. Half of the things I say are like completely fucking random, but a lot of the things are things that I remember from my childhood. So wow, the tick that I do that goes like one of the commenters on my TikToks was like, "Holy crap, that sounds like the machine when you lose, or like the claw machine when you lose at Dave and Buster's." And I'm like, "Oh my god, you're right. That's nuts. I hadn't thought about that in almost a decade." So it's really interesting where tics grab the phrases that they want from.
Interesting.
And I do notice your whistle does kind of sound like a text tone from that I've heard on like iPhones.
Yeah, I imitate phones a lot.
That's awesome.
That's kind of cool. You should have like a live stream or something where people have to like guess what they're all from. Like, you know.
I would love that, because that would honestly help me a lot.
Yeah, it could help understand where it all comes from. I mean, that's so interesting though. Like
you're a mix of "Hey Arnold." Well, no, you're too young for that, but whatever the show is back then. "Hey
She's
Arnold," Rugrats, like all this stuff mixed together.
Nah.
You're big.
See, she meant that one. I know.
Sorry.
It's okay. Josh tells me that all the time. It's so rude.
That's not true. She makes me out to be this terrible person.
He called me a Nazi.
I live in a Furby. Ew.
Did you say Furby?
I did, unfortunately. I don't know why I said that.
Furbies are freaky.
Thank you.
Yes, they're freaky. And then when they tried to bring them back, they tried to sell them for like $50 a piece. And I was like,
dude, I know. My sister got one. I threw it right in the microwave.
what the fuck? That's awful.
How did that go?
Yeah.
Not well for the microwave. The Furby lived.
Oh.
What?
No, I'm just kidding. Oh.
It's like my sister never talked to me again after that.
Yeah, basically. May as well. So, do you have different intensity levels of tics when you are alone as opposed to being in a social setting?
Yes. When I'm alone, they're mostly vocal and very, very minor motor tics. So I would just like whistle and say wow every like 10-ish minutes or so. Sometimes I forget I have Tourette's and then I say wow and I'm like, why the fuck did I just say that? I'm like, oh yeah. So yeah, they definitely change depending on the situation that I'm in, which is irritating, but good that I can track like what my triggers are, which apparently are people. So
people
perfect.
trigger
Love
me
that.
too. So
And so I would ask if you do shrooms because of all the shrooms that you have, but watching the live stream, I know that's not the case. You just happen to like mushrooms. She has a pretty dope
I just
mushroom.
like mushrooms.
oh, a soft mushroom. I haven't seen that.
So what is it about mushrooms you like so much?
My favorite phrase is "you can't kill me in a way that matters," and I feel like mushrooms are just the embodiment of that phrase. So yeah, I don't know why I became so obsessed with them, but that's the origin story.
Are you going to try mushrooms?
Drugs scare me, so probably not.
Good for you.
Well,
Don't do it.
I will say microdosing is safe and proven to help repair damaged brain cells, apparently.
Oh, okay. That might be something to look into then.
I don't know. Obviously, I'm no fucking doctor here. I'm just an idiot, but I don't know. It seems like it may be able to help to some degree. Do you drink alcohol at all?
Yes. When I drink, like I don't take my meds because I'm not supposed to drink with my meds.
Right.
So it's really a toss up on whether my meds not being in my system is going to make me more ticky, or if the alcohol in my system is just going to make me fun and not remember that I have Tourette's. Most of the time, they lessen a lot. So yeah, it's helpful for sure. Fuck you.
Alcohol is helpful.
Yes. To a very minute degree. Like
Right.
I still tick, but it's nowhere near as violent, and it turns into mostly vocal tics that are very hard to get out because I can't speak very well.
You're
like, yes, which you know what, it makes my tics give up eventually, so it works.
That's interesting. The tick's like, all right, I can't get out properly. I don't know. She's slurring this whistle this time, so just forget it.
Yeah, and like I talk about my tics as if they're a different person, and like the people in TikTok and Discord have named my tics Vanessa, so they're like, Vanessa, shut up, let her finish her sentence, goddamn. So
That's Josh's wife's name.
oh no.
That is.
Whoops.
I always call her Natalie.
She stole
for
my
whatever
wife
reason.
already. I didn't even know it.
Haha, Vanessa, get over here. Okay. But yes, I think it's it's the best way that I know to describe that my tics are not my thoughts and they're not what I want to say. But I feel like that has turned into like, oh, so you have multiple personalities then? I'm like, no, not at all. Like, that's not what I'm trying to say. It's a completely different part of my brain that is taking over for a second. It's not DID or anything like that.
Right. Yeah, I don't.
It's very
Sorry. I was just gonna say, I mean, I don't see it as like you being like schizophrenic. It's like, no, you're able to like isolate this as like, you're trying to show people like, this isn't me.
exactly,
This
yeah.
disorder I have, that's not me, and this is what I'm saying. And sorry that Vanessa keeps talking and shit. Got the so that keeps talking. So.
Damn it, Vanessa.
Damn it.
I'm just gonna walk out of my room after the recording. It's your fault.
You did this.
So, is it safe to assume libraries aren't your forte?
What?
Is it safe to assume that libraries aren't your forte? Like you just don't go to them?
Yes, I am no longer allowed. Like, of course I could go, but self-imposed restrictions of, movie theaters, libraries, like physical classes. I take online college right now because I don't want to be a disruption. I don't want to get kicked out of class because that would just mortify me to the end of the earth. Then I would just jump off a cliff. But so I'm currently in online classes, and anywhere quiet I don't really go. I had to go to City Hall once to like renew my freaking registration on my car, and that was hell because the line was 3 hours long and no one was talking except for me, and I just kept like yelling into this echoey ass building like, hey, fuck your mom, I fucked your mom.
Oh, can you please go to court and do that?
That would honestly be the most entertaining day of my life. So yes.
Can I come with you? I'll drive you there.
I'll drive you there. She'll do your hair, makeup, everything.
Yeah. Exactly.
Wow. Can't wait.
So
Steel men.
Go ahead.
Steel men.
You know you do.
Steel men. Steel men. I steal them.
You steal men and women? That's impressive.
Apparently.
That's impressive.
I'll do it again. Okay.
So what would be the worst situation that your Tourette's has managed to put you in?
That is a very good question. Oh, probably me stopping in Bowie, Texas, which is straight up skinhead town. Like Confederate flags, literal Nazi flags, like proudly hung outside of houses. It was ridiculous, and we had to stop there during a road trip up to Colorado to get gas. Hey, and I had to go to the bathroom, and so I had to go into the gas station. Like I wasn't going to go in, but I like, what the fuck am I gonna do? And so, literally there were no masks or no social distancing. There was like I said, so much propaganda, or I don't even know what to call it anymore, everywhere. And I called every single person out in that gas station that I passed by, like, oh wow, no mask, huh? Oh wow, no mask, huh? And I just kept saying that, and I literally felt like I was going to get shot or punched. So definitely don't recommend having Tourette's in Texas.
So is it sometimes just kind of like your internal thoughts are like word vomit almost?
Yeah, sometimes it's the things that I want to say, and my filter just goes away, and they just blurt out, and I try to stop it, and that just makes my tics try harder. Beans, but most of the time it's really random.
That would be a crazy situation.
That was really interesting.
It was really funny, like after I left, but during the time it was absolutely terrifying. Hey.
Yeah, now that you walked away from it all safe and sound, you're like, yeah.
They deserve that, yeah.
Got them. But nobody had mentioned or said anything to you? They just kind of looked at you and like, okay.
Oh, no, they definitely did say something. Like, one of the ladies that I asked, like, because she was in the line for the bathroom with me and she wasn't wearing a mask. I'm like, hey, would you mind, like, backing up a couple feet? Sorry, like, just wearing a mask. One of my friends is immunocompromised. Sorry. I didn't even ask her to put a mask on or anything. I'm just like, can you back up a little bit? And then she's like, this is Texas, sweetie. If you don't like it, you can leave. And then threatened to call the cops on me to get me removed from the gas station. I'm like, just let me pee, please. Like, leave me alone.
Man.
Wow.
But
so
yeah.
Crazy how quickly people are willing to call the cops for anything and everything.
Yeah, it's great. I've definitely learned that over the past couple months, how entitled people think they are to public spaces.
Yeah, this past year has been an interesting one.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to ask, so what is sex like with Tourette's?
Okay, so with that, typically all of the focus is held during the activity. But if you're not trying hard enough, then my mind's going to wander and and you're going to need to try a little bit harder than that.
Oh shit. So it's like, you can't fake anything.
Yeah, exactly. If I'm like most, or my friends are like, yeah, I like think of my like to-do list of what I'm going to do during the day. If I try to do that, I'm going to tick. And then they know I'm like, they're not doing well. And I feel so bad.
Oh no.
But
So,
it's typically not too bad.
That's a game changer, though. I like that.
I like it. You're calling it out. For like years, we've fucking faked this shit. You know, now it's time to tell them.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just saying. Sorry, Josh.
Oh, that's fine. I have no issues.
Women have to fake things a lot. It's
Yeah.
I suppose. I mean,
Luckily, I have an out card for that now, which is nice. That is a positive of Tourette's for sure.
Right? There you go.
that is true. We'll take a real quick break here, and we'll get back to finding out more about you.
Sounds good.
Thank you for staying tuned in to the Mindless Morning Show. We hope you're enjoying another fun-filled episode and would love to hear from you. If you're listening, be sure to follow us and leave a review. If you're on YouTube, please like, comment, subscribe, and click that notification bell to be alerted anytime a new episode drops. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of your show.
Welcome back, everyone. We're still here.
Get out.
Oh, okay. We gotta leave now. Sorry, guys. Maybe she wants to like actually leave. Maybe we haven't been doing justice. I'm so sorry.
Sorry.
No, I'm just messing. So could you explain FND, the functional neurological disorder, a little bit more?
Yeah, so FND, obviously, as you said, functional neurological disorder is a condition that was previously diagnosed as hysteria way back when, female hysteria, as well as conversion disorder. Both of those are very outdated, and it has been recognized that it is a legitimate neurological disorder. The problem with diagnosing this is that it's an exclusionary diagnosis. So while it can cause symptoms similar to MS, so like strokes, tremors, seizures, paralysis, things like that, nothing shows up on brain scans or blood tests or anything like that. And so it's an exclusionary diagnosis in the fact that you've tried to test for everything else and they just don't know what's going on, but there's something clearly going on with you. So, a lot of doctors don't really fucking fuck. Wow, they don't fuck at all.
They probably don't.
Let me try that again. I'm so sorry. It's basically just a misfiring of the nervous system that you can't see because it is a software problem more than a hardware problem. Wow. And yeah, it's just really disappointing that a lot of people, including physicians, don't believe that it's a real disorder because it has been diagnosed so commonly as hysteria or conversion disorder. And it's caused so many people so much suffering, and it's not really rare at all. It's one of the most common reasons for someone to go into a neurologist or a movement specialist. Wow, because no other doctor can figure out what's going on.
Right.
And FND is typically triggered by trauma or stress. So it's like stress manifesting itself in physical symptoms. But the problem is, once it's manifested itself in physical symptoms, your brain has already trained itself to respond in that way. So, wow. The best course of treatment that we found so far for FND is CBIT, or cognitive behavioral interventional therapy, which is basically retraining your brain with like fine motor movements, speech therapy, occupational therapy, and normal CBT therapy to get to the bottom of what trauma triggered it and how to retrain your brain to act normally, not move like this all the time. My tics are from Tourette's and FND. So I have functional tics and Tourette's tics, which is why I'm currently in the treatment course for FND. So we can see which type of tics that I have are which. We're not really sure quite yet.
Interesting.
But yeah, it can cause a very wide array of issues. And yeah, it's just, I just wish it was more recognized, especially by doctors, because every doctor that I've had to go to, because I've had to doctor jump a lot over this past year just to get to the right specialist for me, has told me that the FND diagnosis is wrong, that it doesn't exist, and that I'm not dealing with the issues that I say that I'm dealing with because nothing shows up on tests, when that's just not the case. That's the whole like conundrum with FND, is that it doesn't show up.
Right.
So the logic is kind of backwards there. Wowee. And I'm hoping with the DSM-6 coming out soon that it will be actually included, so that way doctors will be more educated. But until then, yeah.
It blows my mind, though, that people are willing to go out of their way to think that this is something you would choose to do.
Mm-hmm.
For what reason would they
attention?
believe that?
I've had one doctor write my symptoms down as attention-seeking behavior, which really hurt.
Wow.
Because like this is not a fun thing to deal with. I don't understand why people would fake a disorder like this, especially with Tourette's.
I'm not even sure how you would. Like, I'm sitting here thinking like, okay, you would have to, I don't even know how your mind could focus on trying to do that with trying to also keep your own thoughts, and you like faking it makes no sense to me at all, like at all.
Exactly. And it seems like with more acceptance of disabilities and tic disorders and everything, they're definitely more accepted than they were a few years ago. Like, there's more research done on it, there's more education, and more big people who are big creators who are able to like explain what's going on. Wow. But like, I think the problem is that they don't realize that both of those disorders are on a spectrum. And so if they see a person with Tourette's that doesn't fit their exact image of the one person that they saw or the one person that they know that has Tourette's, then it's like, oh, you're faking for attention. And I'm like, but who would do that?
I mean, I'm sure there's people out there, but like that just seems so far-fetched instead of like actually doing their job and digging. And I mean, isn't that why you become a doctor? I would think, like, because you're trying to discover new things and like bring modern medicine to,
you would hope people become a doctor for the right reasons, but it's more so just money or bullshit.
I do feel like doctors a lot of times are like that. I feel like a theme like that's like throughout what you've been saying is like people are basically trying to tell you what's happening to you is not happening to you. Even like the medical personnel, which makes that's very frustrating.
Exactly, which is why like you are your own best advocate. You know what's going on with you. You know what's wrong. You know what symptoms you've been experiencing. And if you tell the doctor to mark down what they've said to you, like, oh, she doesn't have this disorder, they're not going to write that down. They're going to be like, oh, see, you do. I'm so sorry. You do have that disorder, because they don't want to look bad.
Right.
Because then they're going to be telling a diagnosed patient that they're not diagnosed with what they think they are. And like, it's just not cool.
Yeah. And saying all that, like, so what else you said you were going to school, right?
Yes.
So what is your, what are you going to school for?
I'm going to school for computer science. I love robotics and programming, so I really hope to get into that one day. And I'm probably going to go back for biology, because my lifetime goal is to own a wildlife rehabilitation center. So beans.
Awesome.
Wow, I'll fill it with them.
That's
Yeah.
pretty cool. Because I briefly remember lizards being mentioned. Do you have more than just lizards?
Yes, I have 10 pets currently. The highest pet count that I had was 32, I think. We downsized a lot when we moved, but I have 2 axolotls, 2 dogs, 4 leopard geckos, 1 bearded dragon, and 1 crested gecko.
Oh my God, we had
crickets. You got to be going. Do you have your own cricket farm?
No, but we do have a weekly subscription from Flukers. So
Nice, because
I actually know like a independent cricket sales lady. My brother bred snakes. We had leopard geckos. We had 2 iguanas, bearded dragons.
gotta link her up, man.
Everything. We had so much. It was awesome. Actually, I'll send you a link to this dude that breeds some pretty crazy, awesome snakes and stuff.
Oh my God, please do. I will take all of those.
Yeah, because I had 1 bearded dragon and 1 leopard gecko at one point in time.
Loser.
And, well, I liked them. But, I'm just messing with you.
You need to just join our show, I feel like. This is the perfect banter.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry, Josh.
Wow.
No, it's true. 100%. I love it. I mean, you're one of my favorites that we've ever had on here. You're sweet, full of energy, and full of knowledge.
And positive.
And I have the tits. Wow. Sorry.
Well, you do.
Anyway.
I never know if I should actually respond or not.
No, you're good. You're good. It makes me feel better if people play off of it. So.
Oh, okay. Perfect. Yeah, I can.
He's like, I can do that all day.
Yeah. Damn, now I forgot what I was saying.
Leopard geckos.
Yeah. I had just the 2, and I realized I had to continually buy so many crickets, and I was like, I'm just gonna fucking breed them myself. And that was a pain, and I was like, I'm done. I'm done with
They smell
this.
so bad.
They do. And it's just so much effort, and like feeding them the proper diet, and then like you gotta coat them with this calcium stuff before you throw them in,
and like 90% of them die anyway, even if you put them in the perfect positions. Like
exactly.
Yeah.
Dude, what got me was when like my brother's snakes started eating like rats and rabbits, and I was like, okay, well, I'm out. Like rabbits.
That's the best kind of.
I don't want it.
That's the best kind to watch.
I don't know, but the rats, he would get them live, and like they just knock them out and then feed it to the. It's awful. I watched that. It was bad.
Oh no.
I don't recommend it.
My friend, I lived with her for a little bit. She had a snake that live fed, and I literally had to leave the house for them to feed the snakes. I felt so bad. Like I knew it had to happen. Fair enough. But I don't want to hear that.
Man, you guys feel bad. Listening to you guys feel bad about it makes me feel bad about watching my friend like kill and skin a rabbit to eat.
Oh no.
I just had pet rabbits, and so I like identify with the rabbit. I don't want it to get, I mean, not identify, but like
I love all
empathize.
Animals, don't get me wrong, but I mean like
it's a food chain.
Yeah, like, I love every cow I see, but I also love steak.
Yeah, that's valid. At least I don't have to watch the steak being made, though. That's the thing. Like,
I don't necessarily know why I chose to watch it, aside from the fact that I was just truly intrigued as to the process and how it's going to go. And I could probably say I'd probably still watch it. I don't know.
What the hell?
It's not like I got anything out of it. It was just, it's just interesting. And hey, you never know. One day, like, all our sources go out. We got to hunt again. We got to know.
Can't wait for the apocalypse.
Yep.
Josh was actually on my podcast about a zombie apocalypse happening, and we're about to release the episode. And it's amazing. I think it's my favorite that we've had so far. But yeah, now I want it.
So Jen has her own podcast as well. Speculate with us, and
you would not like it. We spread lots of false information and dive into conspiracies and stuff. It's like, but under the pretense of like, we in no way know these facts of any sort. They're not facts. We just wanted to have fun conversations about it and like see our aliens, stuff like that.
Aliens are so real. They're so coming.
Aliens are coming back, definitely. How do you feel about aliens?
What?
How do you feel about aliens?
If they can take me from here, cool. I don't. I'll be your slave. I'll be a waitress. I don't care. Just get me off of here, please.
I think it's funny you think an alien needs a waitress. They'll probably like levitate that with their head.
Probably.
Valid point. Yeah, fair enough.
I don't know what they would honestly need us for, other than like to mate with us for our genes or genetics, things like that.
Hybrid aliens.
Well, good thing about me is my genetics caused this, so I don't think they'd fuck with me at all.
Oh, they'd want it.
They might take you as a test subject. Yeah.
True.
You gotta be careful.
If you ever like wake up with like a triangular cut,
aliens have been there.
yep. I watched a lot of weird
She's like, okay,
documentaries.
guys.
That wouldn't be the weirdest thing happened in my life. It's fine.
Right?
Are we gonna hear what the weirdest thing that happened in your life?
Fuck you. Oh God. Why?
Hey,
Why?
I just got
What was that
mushroom
thing?
slapped.
You got mushroomed.
Oh, fuck yeah.
She shroomed us.
Sorry. Taste the spores.
I think you should have your own esport team, the mushrooms, and then that should be your slogan: "Face the spores."
Fuck yeah.
Yes. So do you have merch and stuff? Because you said that like there was a shirt or something that said "fuck you, I have Tourette's."
Oh, I personally don't have merch. No. That's complicated right now. But I don't have merch at the moment. That's just from the Tourette Association. They have a bunch of different like types of merch for people who can't really like afford the Amazon prices of Tourette's awareness. Wow, fuck you. Gear and stuff.
Right.
So that is one of the most common ones. The other one is like Tourette's kicks me off. Ha 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 ha. Yeah.
So we'll definitely have to talk about merch stuff for you, because we could always help you out with that if need be. If you ever
That'd be
wanted
awesome. Thank you.
some exclusive stuff for your tiki talkers.
Tickety talks.
So aside from Tourette's, because I don't want it to seem like that is all that is made up of you. Like you are clearly somebody special with a lot more to them, and I would just love to know more about you. Just you.
Sure.
First famous.
Yeah. Just trying to.
No, yeah.
Like what are you into, hobbies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I was talking when you said that.
Oh, I said, what are you into, like hobby wise and stuff like that?
Well, I really like video games, so I do a lot of that. I'm trying to get into Twitch streaming, which is taking up a lot of my time. Most of my time right now is taken up by filming me, which is very bizarre. But, wow, fuck you. I also like archery, animal care, beans. I don't like beans.
I don't either.
What? They're so good. It's a magic fruit.
They're my least favorite food. God. I also run a princess party business with my girlfriend, which is pretty cool. So we send out like costume characters to events like kids parties, Make-A-Wish events, parades, cons, stuff like that. It's super fun. I used to act for them, like as a princess before my tics got bad, but I can't really do that now. So I'm more behind the scenes.
You can come to my kids' party and act as
Was
a
it
princess.
Vanellope
Cool
on
with it.
Schweetz?
I do play Vanellope now because I'm able to explain the tics away as glitches, and it's a perfect segue to teach kids about Tourette's because, no one talks about that.
Right.
And they're really, really receptive because they're like, oh, so they just adapted it for the movie. I see, I got you. And that's really sweet, and I love that. But I used to play Elena of Avalar. I don't know if I'm saying that right. I honestly have never seen the show. I just read the synopsis so I can like have enough character info. Ariel, Elsa, Belle, and I did. Who else did I do? I did Anna once, and yeah, it was a vast array of characters that I used to do. But yeah, I'm a bit too ticky, so I let everyone else take the charge for now.
That's really cool. That's a lot going on, dude.
Yeah, it's busy. For sure.
I like that idea though. I mean, I've always kind of wanted to do one of those celebrity dress ups, and they get paid pretty good. I don't look like any celebrity though.
You could work at like the Magic Time Machine.
Closest I got is
Yeah.
Scott Ian.
I actually used to work there.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
I don't even
and the
know what
medieval
that is.
times.
Nice.
So I've done a lot of like acting jobs, like acting serving jobs, which was super fun. Hopefully I'll be able to go back to medieval times soon if they're okay with me being ticky, which I'm sure they will be. But
Yeah, I feel like you can
that'd be
totally
really cool.
yell at people there.
I'm sorry.
I said I feel like you can totally yell at people there and like play into it.
Oh, absolutely. My entire job was yelling at people when I worked there. So it was great.
That's awesome.
And you had recently gone to a Renaissance fair, right?
Yeah, I went these past 2 Saturdays, and that was super fun.
Nice.
The previous Saturday, someone from TikTok actually found me there and was like, "Fidget?" I'm like, "What? Who?" So they got to hang out with our group, and that was really cool. I've never experienced anything like that before. So
You're famous.
that was really neat.
That's all. See, we got to get you merch made.
You need merch. And plus, if you're trying to fundraise, I mean, there you go. Like, easy way.
Yeah, for sure. I'm definitely planning on it. It's just I have no idea where to start. So I would definitely appreciate the help. Thank you.
So is your Discord like open, or is it like for people with Tourette's? Is it just for everybody?
I'm in there. That's where I found her.
What?
Yeah, it's for everybody.
You didn't add me, Josh? Well, that was rude.
Rude.
I know. Tell him.
I will after this.
She was gonna say a real fuck you to you.
I think she just did because she just said how fucking dare I, and rightfully so. I mean, honestly, it's refreshing. People need that honesty.
I know. I kind of wish that everybody would just yell at each other, get it out, and like maybe we wouldn't be such an angry world,
Honestly, me too. Like, yeah, I started the Discord because I kept missing so many fucking comments on the live because they'd move so quickly, and I'm like, you know what? I'm tired of not talking to people who want to talk to me because they kept getting pissed at me for not reading their comment. I'm like, I'm trying, dude.
You're like, I really can't scan that fast.
It is still in the works, but I'm hoping eventually it will be a fun place to be. But everyone's super supportive there, which is very nice. I thought I'd have to kick some people by now, but I haven't had to kick anybody. So
that's amazing.
Yeah.
I haven't either, actually. It's almost been a year, so success.
Yeah.
Except me.
No, you're on the edge, man, McTeeter.
Yeah.
I wake up and Josh will be had just gotten a fight with somebody in my Discord, and I'm like, my whole thing is don't get in fights.
Just get along.
Debates get tough, man. So it's tough streets, man.
1 incher. Sorry.
Yeah.
So cool. I'm excited about it.
I mean, have you ever cosplayed aside from doing the princess stuff? Like, do you go to Comic Cons or anything like that?
Yeah, I cosplay a lot, actually. Wowee. I've cosplayed too many characters. I forget how many at this point. But I think my favorite one is Ari from League of Legends, because that just makes me feel super confident and everyone loves it. So I'm like, fuck yeah. Like, give me all the attention, please. I need acceptance. So it's pretty nice.
I can't admit that I actually know who those are because I did not play League of Legends.
That's fair. I played it for 2 weeks and then I got really, really bored of it. So that's valid.
Are you into the Resident Evil games?
I want to be. I've seen so many trailers. I just haven't had a chance to get the games yet. So one day.
Yeah. My husband was just rambling about how amazing it was, and he cried at the end, and
did he really?
That amazing. Yeah.
Oh man, I can't wait to talk to him later.
Sorry, babe. I just called you out.
Uh-oh.
Is there? Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, yeah. I typically play the pussy games of Night in the Woods or Beginner's Guide or What Remains of Edith Finch, walking simulator indie game sort of thing. But yeah, we just finished Night in the Woods, and I definitely cried because that was such a good game.
I don't know if you know this, but Josh is a game developer, so.
Oh, that's so cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
It's not that cool.
It's pretty cool.
I think it is.
So, do you play most games mostly on PC, Xbox, PlayStation?
I'm switching over to PC for sure, but I mostly played on Xbox until now.
Good stuff.
We have Xbox, but Josh has PC, which is why we play Fortnite.
It's a Microsoft umbrella. It works.
Fucking virgin.
Exactly.
It's true.
That
It's like
I've
I've
really
been waiting years.
The kids just deploy to not admit the fact I'm not good at sex.
I'm sorry, okay?
She torn down the veil, guys. It's out in the open now. Is there absolutely anything at all that you would like to say to the listeners? Some words of wisdom, and also any links of yours we're going to have in the descriptions, any links you want us to share, including the Tourette's Association link for donations, things like that.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Wow. I guess sorry. I guess the most important thing that I would like to get across with any sort of media that I come out with is that acceptance and education is key. And you should really take the time to educate yourself for things that you don't know about that you see people struggling with. Because if you are trying to gatekeep a disorder by trying to protect that disorder, by attacking people who don't fit the criteria of your mind, what the disorder is, then that's really, really toxic. And that's been going really, really rampant lately. Wow. There's probably a better way I could have put that, but my mind is scrambled now. But yes, just try to not assume the worth of people, and just don't be a dick.
Thank you.
And certainly do not discredit anybody for what they had. You're not nobody walking around as a doctor. You're not a fucking know-it-all just because you guys have to realize there's people out there. People. Yeah, and we're very complex beings, and just because you don't understand it does not mean that it's just not there.
Exactly. Yeah, you said that perfectly.
Okay, put that on a t-shirt.
Yeah, exactly. If you ever want to come back on, you are more than welcome to. That'd be
awesome. You guys are super fun.
No, I mean, you're amazing. You're definitely an inspiration, and I really hope, and beans, and
yeah,
I hate beans.
Listen,
I love that you hate beans too. Sorry, Josh, go. I'm sorry.
But yes, Fidget and Vanessa, thank you for being on.
Thank you.
Vanessa.
We truly Vanessa doesn't like me, but it's cool.
Clearly.
But it was great. It was absolutely great talking to you. I loved having you on. I loved being able. I love that you were willing to come on and talk about this. That was so awesome.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been lovely to
get your hair done. I'm your neighbor, So
yeah, just shoot me a message. I genuinely might need that. So
awesome. No, thank you so much for being on. And I agree with Josh. You can actually just have my spot as co-host. I think you did a great job.
I'll replace her with you.
See, down, man.
Yeah, it'll be a party.
You were really fun to have on, and I love what you're doing for everything that you're fighting for. So.
Virgins. Bye.
Exactly.
Okay.
Have a good one.
Guys.
And stay mindless, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Mindless Morning Show. We appreciate you picking us out of the many great podcasts out there. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that little bell to get notified whenever we release a new episode or bonus content. Now go enjoy the rest of your mindless day.